Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper, and I wanted to share some prepared citizen gear that I move from loadout to loadout no matter what it is. It could be my plate carrier setup, it could be my go bag in my vehicle, it could even be in my backpack for some kind of covert loadout scenario, but regardless of what it is I'm loading out with, I want to have these items on me because they bring a lot of benefits, they add good redundancy, and you don't necessarily need to buy a bunch of multiples of these different items when you can just move them back and forth. So, I want to go ahead and share all that with you. I actually have all the items on me right now. I'm going to go ahead and take them off of my kit, show you what they are, explain them in some detail, nothing crazy, but at the same time we're going to throw them in this awesome Korean War ammo box that I recently picked up, which I thought was cool. So why not? But hopefully this gives you some ideas about things you might want to add to your kit, no matter what it is. Like I said, go bag, plate carrier, chest rig, whatever it is. And at the same time, realize that maybe you don't need to buy a bunch of these. You can just move them from system to system. Now, of course, I want to mention that Midway USA is the biggest supporter of the channel. And thanks to them, I can get out here, provide you with information like this. And of course, they carry a lot of the items discussed within this video. So a big thanks to them. And no, not everything in this video is going to be hyper expensive. I'm not going to be talking about thermals or night vision or anything like that. These are basic items that I just like to have on me regardless of what it is that I'm doing or what time of day it is or what environment I'm in or whatever it may be. So I thought that it was worth sharing with you all in case maybe you overlooked some of these things. So to get started, we'll go ahead and get this rather cumbersome rifle out of the way. Okay, we're good to go there. And of course, we're testing out the SIG Spear optics loadout and everything on there in conditions like this, because if you don't get out in this stuff, how are you gonna know if your stuff works or not? I mean, the same could be said for the M9A4 right here with an open emitter red dot, AKA an RMR. We'll see how that goes. But for now, we're gonna be talking about the gear. So, and it is cold, it is wet. Bear with me because I might have to snivel a little bit. Right now I'm wearing a Blue Force Gear SF10 speed chest rig, which I actually really like. It's pretty nice, it's very comfortable, and it actually has a lot of storage, especially if you get the GP pouches that are specifically designed for it. But I have everything on this list in this chest rig as well as on my belt line right now. And like I said, I would take this stuff off and go put it in my go bag or throw it in a backpack or put it with some kind of a loadout scenario for my plate carrier or whatever it is, because all this stuff is really good to have regardless of the situation. So the first thing that I want to discuss is actually over here on the side, and that is going to be something that I have to get better at opening with gloves on. But it is if I can get it out real quick here. My hands are cold. These are new gloves, and I'm struggling because I'm making a video. And I'm blowing snot everywhere. This is the Vortex Solo RT. Like I said, get out in this stuff or else you're gonna hate yourself no matter what. The Vortex Solo RT is a monocular that I really like to have on me. It's an 8x monocular. It has a ranging reticle. It has an auto ranging reticle as well, in the sense of human silhouettes that tell you what range the targets may be at if they fit within a human silhouette. But what I really like about it is that if I'm running an optic that's non-magnified, so if I have a rifle with me that just has a red dot sight on it, or if I have a lower magnification optic like an ACOG, this lets me see a little bit further, get positive identification, and it is a very small, lightweight package. And what I really like about the Vortex Solo RT, this is the 8x36, other than the fact that it has a ranging reticle, it's not dependent on electronics at all. It also fits perfectly in a Milsurp smoke grenade pouch, which is the pouch here I was struggling with a little bit. Like I said, working on the dexterity here. For all those people in the comments, oh, this guy's wearing gloves, what a loser. If you don't wear gloves, you're gonna be bad with them. And guess what? When it's cold, you probably wanna wear gloves. So you should probably practice with that more instead of just opining about things that you don't like. Now, this, I take it with me everywhere because it's 8x magnification. It lets me see a lot further than I could with the naked eye. It allows me to identify targets or identify things in general, maybe they're not targets, without having to put a scope or a rifle in the direction of something I maybe don't want to aim a firearm at. So this is something that I want with me all the time. It goes in the Korean War box. Now, what else is on this list? Woo! How about a multi-tool? And this one in particular is something special. This is the Leatherman MUT. Now, I always want to have this on me for multiple reasons. One, it's a very heavy duty, very usable multi-tool. I don't feel like this thing's gonna break. It's pretty heavy, but it's very well built, it's durable, and it gives you all the basics you need. It has a driver, it has the pliers, it has wire cutters, all that stuff, but it also has some other cool stuff. I mean, a bottle opener, which is nice to have, but you know, you can always get crafty with that. But I like this for the fact that it is also purpose-built to help keep your AR-15 up and running as well, which can obviously be applied to other platforms like the MCX Spear right here. But regardless, it has a couple of other little features, like a carbon scraper. It has a pin punch as well, which all these things are going to be a little bit hard to activate with these gloves on, but it has the ability to help you get your AR field stripped. It has the ability to help you keep things clean, get some of that carbon off your bolt or whatever else you need to do. And it has all the other tools you would expect from a Leatherman, including a saw and a knife. And what's nice is that the knife on here is actually pretty decent, and it'll definitely get the job done in a pinch if you don't have another knife on you. So the redundancy level there is good. The amount of different tools and everything else that this thing utilizes is good. And the fact that my face is now still running snot all over the place is also good. Now, if I can only close this lock blade while wearing gloves. Don't worry about that. It's natural. It's cold. It's wet. I don't care. So, Leatherman MUT, or at least some kind of heavy-duty multi-tool. I want that in every kit. And these are expensive. I mean, I don't even remember how much this cost because this was a gift from my wife, which I really appreciate, honestly. It's probably one of the coolest gifts I ever got. But in reality, I don't want to buy 3 or 4 of these. I just want one. So right now, I have it in a magazine pouch on my belt, which is an S-Tac pistol double stack mag pouch, and it fits in there very snugly. But I also don't, if I don't have my belt on me because I don't need a pistol or whatever, I'll throw it in one of these pockets here in the front, and it's still good to go. So, Leatherman MUT, excellent choice when it comes to a heavy-duty multi-tool. Now, what else do I want on me? Pretty much at all times lately, and it's kind of something newer I've added to my systems. I'm sorry, I gotta make videos. I don't care what it's like outside. I get out here, I still shoot, I make it happen. The snot is just something I got to deal with, I guess. So, water is extremely important. I always want water, right? And we need a container for water more than anything else, probably, because if you can't bring the water with you, you don't have any water. And I've been using this GRAYL titanium UltraPress for quite some time now. Now, this is going to be another thing where I struggle because of wearing gloves, which is fine, because the struggle teaches us to get through adversity. Now, this is a very interesting water container. Why do I always want this on me? I put this in my go bag when I'm in my vehicle, especially if I'm going out of town. I throw it in my EDC pack if I'm going to be walking around all day without my vehicle nearby. I also have this in my chest rig right now using an Arbor Arms. I think it's a 16-ounce Nalgene pouch, which is really minimalistic, but does the job. And then I also would throw this into any other system, right? Backpacks, whatever. Because not only is it 16.9 ounces of water, but it also filters the water for you in one singular system. So what you have here is the ability to fill the water in the cup, which is titanium, which is why I like this particular model, because this titanium cup can also be used to cook in. And I have boiled water in it, and it does exactly what it's supposed to, which is nice. But then you have the water in here. You can take this filter on the end you see here on the GRAYL, you open up the lid a little bit to let air escape, and you put the dirty water in, you drop this in, push down, and guess what? I have clean water to drink right now. You can do this in like 10 seconds. So it's extremely fast in the sense of getting clean water into your body quickly, and it still is a container that also has the option to allow you to cook using this container. Now this thing is not cheap. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like 200 bucks. It's expensive, don't get me wrong, which is why I only want one of them. I don't want to buy 5 of these. I bought replacement filters, which are also expensive, but not as expensive as buying another one of these. And what's nice is I can just move this back and forth to any kit that I'm using, regardless of what it is. But I always want this on me because you have to have water, and it does a great job of providing you water, clean water, quickly. Now, there is a caveat here, especially based on the weather we're in right now. If this freezes, this filter can be frozen twice. It can be frozen and thawed, and then frozen, and then thawed, and then after that, they can't guarantee it's going to clean the water effectively. Which is understandable, right? Because it's activated charcoal and everything else that's in there, and it does create some weaknesses if things freeze up. We all know how ice works, right? So that is an issue, but that's why you need redundancy as well. What do I mean by that, okay? So other than the GRAYL UltraPress Titanium, or TI, I keep another level of redundancy, and this is something newer, and you might have seen them on Dirty Civilians channel, which was a very good video about water and the necessity of it in emergencies. But in reality, CANA Provisions puts out what's called a water decon kit. Now, we can start getting into pouches. So, here we have the decon kit, and a little bit of snot, because it goes a long ways. All right, who cares? This is the CANA Provisions Water Decon Kit. Now this thing is nice and sealed up, and they have a bunch of these all sealed up, ready to go. You can buy them in like 6 packs or whatever else you want. And what's cool about this kit is that it comes with ways to treat water and other things you might need, which are also very beneficial, and basically weighs nothing. And obviously the form factor is really good because I can just throw this right here in my chest rig and I have it. Throw it in a backpack pocket, throw it in your pants pocket. It literally fits anywhere. There's no reason not to have these with every kit, but if you only have one, moving it around is not a problem either. Now, these kits are pretty interesting. So they have 10 water purification tablets. They have 6 anti-diarrheal tablets, which is very important in an emergency situation. There's 4 compressed towelettes. So you can use that for filtering your water or pre-filtering it before adding the decontamination to the water you collected. And it's got a bunch of other stuff in here as well, such as like alcohol wipes, rubber bands, waterproof bandages. It's got triple antibiotic in here. It even has some safety pins for just making quick repairs on the fly. This thing has a lot of stuff in it. But what this does is it adds redundancy to my water system here so that if the filter goes bad, because these filters are also only rated for 40 gallons, right? I mean, it is what it is, but these filters filter everything, viruses, everything. It's not like a Sawyer Mini where you're missing some of the things that could be a problem depending on the situation. But regardless, this makes it so if this filter gets frozen or stops working or whatever it is, I can still treat the water and use the container as just a water container at that point. And now I have redundancy of water, and this thing weighs nothing. It's literally worth having anywhere you can think of, at least in my opinion. So the CANA Provisions Water Decon Kit, I just throw it in everything. As you can see, it fits very nicely. Definitely worth checking out, okay? So now we have water covered. I want these in every kit for obvious reasons. If you don't have enough water in your kit, you're doing something wrong, okay? It's just the truth. Now, first aid's also important. I think we all know that. I feel pretty, certain that you need first aid depending on the situation. So I like to have this kit with me everywhere. It's my new favorite kit from Refuge Medical. Now, I have links in the description as well as in the pinned comment for Refuge Medical because they are a supporter of the channel, and I also support them because they make high quality gear here in the USA, and they also have very good training classes as well. And of course, I am an affiliate, but all my commissions that I earn through Refuge Medical go directly to their charity, which is Caleb House, which is a charitable organization that helps victims of trafficking. So understand that that's very important as well. And I don't actually earn money from these sales. I just donate it directly to their charity. So keep that in mind, just trying to be transparent and honest with you all. Now, this is their SLIK kit, okay? So the SLIK kit is great because with the SLIK kit, you have basic needs of like a blowout kit in a very compact vacuum sealed package that allows you to throw this. Well, this is SLIK. It's supposed to be sexy legs and khakis kit, right? Because you can throw this in a cargo pocket. You can throw this in your back pocket. You can throw this anywhere. And as you saw, in a chest rig pocket very easily, in a backpack, wherever you want. And so it covers some basics when it comes to having a blowout kit. It has chest seals in it. It has a pressure bandage. It has all the usual stuff. Let's see, it has some duct tape in it. It has gloves. So obviously it has combat gauze as well. What I like about this is that it doesn't put a huge burden on you having to have like this gigantic IFAK, and it allows you to have the minimum of what you need for a blowout wherever you are with whatever kit you're using in any capacity. And so I even have this as part of my EDC because it's so slim and so easy to keep with me that it allows me to have access to high quality first aid wherever I am. Now, the other caveat here is that I would add a tourniquet to whatever it is I'm using or whatever kit I'm using in the meantime, in addition to this. And of course, here on this kit, I have a tourniquet right here, bungeed at the bottom. I also keep a tourniquet in my pocket. So I have a tourniquet with me anywhere I go, all the time, everywhere. So that doesn't really affect me as much because I always have one in my pocket, but I also have them on the kits as well because they're pretty important and people might need them and need that visual representation of having it on the outside so they could apply it to you if need be, right? But this turns it up a notch, allows you to have what you need for a trauma kit without having all the extra bulk. So the SLIK kit from Refuge Medical, I really want to have with me everywhere, and I do, because it's that easy to move around. And that's not inexpensive, right? Because it's got all these high quality American-made components. So you only need to get one and then just move it to wherever you go, right? So what else do I always want to have on me? Well, this is, I guess more like personal, but I like having this Rite in the Rain notepad on me, and I like having one of their Rite in the Rain pens as well. Now, in this one right here, I have some dope written down for this rifle, just as like a reference in case, you know, I'm getting further out and I want to check stuff. But you can write anything in these you want. And of course, in any situation, you never know when taking down notes or having the ability to reference something could be important. An important phone number, or who knows what else it is. And maybe, just throwing this out there, maybe you don't want your cell phone on you if you're using stuff like this kit that you see right here. It might not be a great idea depending on the situation. So being able to take notes, being able to write down numbers, being able to reference additional information that you might not have on you otherwise is important. So I like having a notepad from Rite in the Rain as well as one of their pens anywhere I'm at, because also, like in this weather right now, I can still use it and the pen still works and the paper still works and the rain doesn't ruin it or anything like that. So this is just something I like to have in every kit. These aren't expensive. You could actually buy these for each individual kit, but it depends on what you want to do. If you want to fill this out with a bunch of important information that helps you out in the field or whatever else you're doing, you don't want to have to do that with 10 different notepads. You can just move the one back and forth, right? So that's something I like, the combination of the Rite in the Rain notebook and the pen. Now, one other thing that I move around to every kit, because it's just important to have, and here's the thing, I'm gonna be fully transparent and honest with you guys right now. I still don't have a ham radio license. It's actually something I'm pretty embarrassed about, because I just keep getting distracted and sidetracked on doing a million other things. And obviously I know the importance of communications, and I am working on some other stuff too, including, you know, GMRS and CB and all this other stuff, but it's a lot. You know, it's like how I haven't really spent enough time using my drone that I would like to have learned better on at this point in time. When you got kids, you got a family, and you're also trying to do a bunch of other stuff regarding preparedness, things get difficult. So I feel stupid about it. I'm still working on it. It's gonna happen. But regardless, I have a Baofeng. I know it's cheap, I know it's not the best that's out there, but I also know it's basically disposable, and I don't care because it's still usable in an emergency, and it allows me to listen into other things in case I'm not wanting, or, you know, well, technically not able to transmit, but at the same time, in a dire emergency situation, that becomes a little bit less of a problem. So I have a programmed Baofeng that I move around to every kit I own because it's already pre-programmed. Now, I have other Baofengs that are also programmed, but this one in particular, it is programmed. And let's see here.
Channel mode.
Okay, so right now I'm on a local repeater, nothing's coming through, but I have that hooked up to this little push to talk up here. I don't need that always, but I do want to have the radio with me. So if I have this in my backpack or in my go bag or in my EDC or whatever, it's just for emergency purposes, and it is pre-programmed to channels that I know I have local people listening in on, or that I have local information coming through on. And then I also have other channels programmed on here that are more, let's just say, you know, commercially or publicly available, depending on the situation. I have, you know, the weather channel programmed on here. I've got, you know, it has access to AM, FM radio and all that stuff too. So this is something that having a radio is good, but if it's not programmed for anything relevant to your area, it's probably not going to do you a lot of good. So that's why I just program this radio into having a lot of the different channels that might be relevant, and then I just move it from kit to kit, so that way I always have the radio that I know for a fact is programmed and already well established in the sense of having what I need inside of the information, right? So this is programmed. Having a radio is important. Obviously, I'm not legally able to transmit on this currently, which is stupid of me. I understand. I am working on that, I swear. But I still find it important to have, and I still think it has a lot of other functionality that allows you to access levels of communication you might not be able to with just a standard like walkie-talkie, right? So this goes everywhere. And yes, I have the basic Baofeng antenna on it right now, but I do keep a cattail antenna in the kit as well in case I need to extend range. So there's still the capability of changing things around if needed, but this is something I find very important for obvious reasons. Now, those are the things I move from kit to kit. I hope that helps give you some ideas about things you might be missing, or about things that you might only need one of that you have been thinking about getting more of just to have additional loadouts put together, right? And also at the same time, you can let me know down in the comments what I might be missing or what you move from kit to kit. A couple of things I would consider, like I said earlier, you know, we're not talking about thermals and night vision, but I do have a thermal that is really small. It's a loopholed LTO tracker that wouldn't be a bad thing to just kind of have on me all the time, but that's not something I necessarily feel the need to have in like my EDC or in my, you know, go bag per se, which is really a get home bag. I don't know if I need it for that, so that's why I haven't really put it into this context. But there are some things like maybe a Kamanga compass, which would be a good lymphatic compass to have with you in every single kit. But of course, that's also sometimes dependent on the situation. Do I know where I am, and am I going somewhere where it's unknown, or is the place that I'm at unlikely for me to suddenly get lost in? I don't know. So, but those are things that I would love to hear. I am not an expert. I am just some guy who tries to bring good information to the forefront, and I don't have any professional expertise in this department, but I am able to read and research and learn from others who do have that expertise, and these are the things that I've learned over the years that I just figured I would share with you. So please let me know in the comments anything else you think you should add to this list or anything else that you particularly do, because it could help me just as much as some of this might help you. Any questions you have for me or anything else you need, you go to magicprepper.com. There's links there for discount codes and all kinds of stuff. So check it out. There's even a Discord there. My Discord's free. You don't have to join, you know, Subscribestar or anything for that, but it is there in case you want to join into the ruckus, which is Discord. And besides that, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.